Just met yesterday and you already trying to take whole trips together?
Be ready by 2.
You want to hear a story about how me and this bitch fell out? It's kind of long, but it's full of suspense.
Zola is the story of two women who go on what's described as a hoe trip. And Black Twitter even referred to it as the thotyssey. I want to ask you all, what are the essential components to a hoe trip?
You need the right attitude,
some girls,
extra underwear.
You probably need a car.
They have interest in hoedom, in participating in hoedom potentially.
Yeah, people who are just game, like too game, and they don't ask a lot of questions, like even like, what's your name?
Like going out to have a good time. It's not about men. It's not about none of that. It's really probably not even about sex. We're just going to shake some ass and do the crybaby on the dance floor. Like that's a hoe trip. That's a hoe outing right there.
If you're gonna have a thotyssey, you have to have a dynamic villain, and you also have to have something that's sort of like seductive to come home to, right? So it's like there's a seductive thing to come home to that you're leaving, but a dynamic villain that keeps you from going back.
I don't fuck with you. No more.
I ain't do nothing wrong.
Right, that is the structure of Homer's The Odyssey, and if it's gonna be a thotyssey, it has to be that, but set to Migos.
What is the greatest hoe trip that you all have been on in real life?
I'm like a grandma. Like I haven't had any hoe trips, but I'm a start.
I don't know if I go out like fully with the full hoedom in mind. I go to have a good time. And I'm usually pretty safe and secure about things. Although I feel like after this pandemic, I want a hoe trip.
I've hoed some soil more than anything.
Really excited for Janix's because I feel like her hoe trips probably have a few more shawls.
Listen, we see the shawls. Please.
Hoe trips with a lot of hats, a lot of eyewear, generally nautical stripes. You know, there's a palette.
Zola is a story told from the lens of a Black woman, directed by a Black woman, led by a Black woman. And oftentimes we see Black women, specifically when we talk about sexuality, they're referred to as Jezebel. What do you hope that this story tells, about Black womanhood, about sex positivity?
Well, I've always been pretty sex positive and comfortable in my sexuality. It's something that I stand for because I aim to inspire other Black women to do the same. I hope that it inspires more Black women to tell their stories.
The thing that I most got from having read the thread and this experience is agency above all. That's really the loudest note, and an expression of freedom and using one's voice to exorcise our demons. I am so used to being in a body that has to ask permission to be in space. I am so used to being in a body that offends other people or makes other people uncomfortable. And the only thing that I have access to get me out of it is my sense of humor, is my sensibility, and is my own tenacity. Hopefully, other young women, other young people watch it, other minorities watch it and see some version of themselves in that and feel empowered to go on and tell their own stories.
What I hope people take from this is that every Black woman that you've witnessed in your lifetime, varying different shades of performance of Black womanhood, are all worthy, whether they're Michelle Obama or Megan Thee Stallion.
Black people have been entertaining the world for centuries, and still there's so much potential in our storytelling and our experiences. And I think we tend to heal our trauma by laughing at it, which is what meme culture is, and Twitter in and of itself. And you got to know your values, you got to know your worth, you got to know your body, and we should all be able to honor what feels good for ourselves.
You've got two women who are physically, sexually sort of empowered that you're watching. And I just hope that it's a liberating watch in that way.
And women, remember that your pussy is worth
thousands.
Period.
Period.
Just remember, okay?
Worth
You
thousands.
hold the power.